Hey folks, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host, Mark Guido, and chances are you have some things in your camping kit, maybe even a bunch of things, that use these little 1-pound canisters of propane. But they're awfully expensive in the store. We found a great way that we save a bunch of money with these, and we'll share it with you on today's episode, so stay tuned. Now, if you buy one of these tanks in the store, it's going to cost you at least $4 for one of these 1-pound canisters. But if you get a 20-pound tank refilled, it's going to cost you $13, $14, maybe $15 to refill that tank. So you're spending 75 cents or less a pound that way, instead of $4 or more a pound this way. These canisters can be refilled. We do refill them. Now, just a little disclaimer, propane can be dangerous. We don't recommend you doing this yourself. This is what we do with a number of safety precautions to refill these tanks. As an added benefit, these tanks don't end up in the landfill or in the trash cycle. Therefore, it's more environmentally friendly to refill these things as well. We're going to show you how we do it. Now, all we need to refill the tank is, of course, a tank of propane, a pair of needle nose pliers, and one of these propane adapters. And we'll show you later on in the video where you can find one of these. But the process is really simple. Let's walk through it right now. So the first thing we want to do is actually bleed the air out of the tank, the excess air out of the tank. You'll see that there's a little Schrader valve here on the top of the tank. And what we're going to do is use the needle nose pliers to pull that pin out to release the air. And you want to make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area because this will give off propane fumes. But there we go. It's now empty. Now, sometimes these little Schrader valves will stick, or the seal inside the valve or inside the fitting will leak. If either of those things are the case, make sure that you toss the can, dispose of it. Don't refill it. Now, we also want to make sure that we don't overfill the canister. For that reason, it's a good thing to have a digital scale with you. I, of course, forgot mine at home today. But what you want to do is weigh this thing, zero out the scale, weigh it, so you can make sure that you don't put more than 1 pound of propane inside the tank. So now I'm going to take the adapter, and with the Acme nut on one end, just screw it right onto the propane tank, the same way you would any other thing. And I'm going to take the canister, the empty canister, and screw it into the adapter, same way we would in any appliance that uses these canisters. Now I'm going to turn the propane on. You can hear it start to fill. And I'm going to turn it upside down and let it fill. Now, it's not going to fill all the way on the first try. As a matter of fact, just because of the air pressure that's building up inside the tank, it's going to go to maybe 2/3 full, somewhere around there. And we'll show you how to bleed a little bit more air to get a little bit more in. I'm going to let some time elapse here. Okay, now it's stopped making noise. I'm going to turn the tank off. I'm going to unscrew this from the adapter. We're getting pretty full already. But I'm going to bleed a little bit more air out of this thing, the same way we did before with the pliers. A little bit more. Make sure that valve's back in. Screw it back in. And repeat the process. There, you can hear it. Because we bled that air out, we're putting more propane in the canister. It'll take less time to fill because it's nearing full already on the second try than it did on the first pass. We're going to skip some time here again. Okay, it stopped filling or slowed down considerably. And turn it off again. I'm going to unscrew this canister. And again, the safest way to do this is if you have a scale so you can measure how much propane you've put in. But I'll tell you by feel, that's pretty close to 1 pound. Pretty close to a normal full canister. And in a matter of just a minute or two, we've refilled one of these for a fraction of the cost of what it would take to buy one of these in the store. So now that I'm back home, we'll use the scale that I forgot to bring with me. Put an empty canister on here, and if we tear out the scale, we'll get it back down to 0 so we eliminate the weight of the can. Now, without resetting the scale, now that we've refilled the can, it's showing just the weight of the propane. 1 pound. Perfect. Nailed it. Aside from it sliding off the scale. So again, the standard disclaimers apply. This is what we do. We don't recommend you doing this. Propane can be dangerous. If you do decide to do this yourself, make sure that you're away from any kind of open flame, as it does give off propane fumes while you're doing the refill. However, if you'd like one of these little adapters, they are available on Amazon. We have them in the Grand Adventure Amazon shop. We'll put a link to one of these in the description down below this video. They're cheap. They're maybe, I didn't look before filming this, but they're maybe 10 or 12 bucks. And you'll pay for one of these just by refilling a couple of these canisters, and you've already paid for this. We hope that this information has been useful to you. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up down below. We always love to hear from you in the comments section down below each video. Now, we put out new outdoor adventure videos each and every Wednesday, so if you're not yet a Grand Adventurer, make sure to smash that little red subscribe button down there in the corner and ring that notification bell. And we would be honored if you share Grand Adventure with your friends, family, and on social media. Until next week, please remember, life, it's nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you soon.